Bus driver always saw this boy alone, then followed him one day. Every morning at 6:47 a.m., the bus stopped on the corner of Maple and 3rd. And every morning, the same boy climbed aboard, thin, pale, backpack too big for his frame, always alone. He never spoke. Just sat in seat 12, 3rd row from the back, by the window. The driver, Mr. Callan, had been on the job 22 years. He knew every kid's stop, their routines, even their moods. But not this boy. He never saw anyone drop him off. Never saw him walk from a house. He just appeared at the corner, waiting. And every afternoon, when the last student stepped off the bus, that boy was already gone. No stop. No goodbye. Just vanished. On Thursday, Mr. Callan finally asked around. None of the teachers knew the boy's name. No one had him on their class list. He checked the seating chart he kept clipped to the visor, updated every semester. Seat 12, blank. He asked the office secretary. She laughed nervously. "We don't have a student that matches your description." "Are you sure?" Callan nodded. "I see him every day." She frowned. "Then why isn't he in the logbook?" That Friday, Callan decided to watch. When the boy boarded, Callan made a mental note of his every movement, the slow way he climbed the steps, the way he avoided eye contact, the old scuffed shoes he wore in winter. But when the other students got rowdy, and he glanced in the mirror, seat 12 was empty. The next day, he drove past the boy's usual stop on purpose. The boy was still there, standing in the cold, not even shivering. Callan pulled over. "Hey," he said, opening the door. "You all right?" The boy stepped on. Looked up. Eyes too tired. Voice barely a whisper. "Don't let him follow me." Then he walked to seat 12 and sat. That afternoon, Callan made a decision. He waited until the last student stepped off. The boy was still in seat 12, staring out the window. Callan didn't stop at his usual drop-off. Instead, he drove. Past the school. Past the normal route. The boy didn't look at him. Didn't speak. Until they reached the edge of town near the old mill road, where the trees grew too close and the air always smelled like wet metal. "Here," the boy said. "He's here." Callan stopped the bus. The boy stepped off and vanished between the trees. Callan followed. The woods were darker than they should have been. And then a clearing. A house, rotted, half-burned, sagging into the ground like it had been waiting for someone to remember it. Callan stepped closer. On the porch sat a rusted school bus seat, torn and marked with a number burned into the side. 12. He called out, "Boy? You here?" No answer. Only wind. And something else, a whisper, like breath against his neck. He never left. The next day, Callan dug through the town archives. Found a newspaper from 1996. Tragic bus fire, 12-year-old boy missing, presumed dead. A school bus had caught fire near the mill road after a faulty repair. All students escaped except one. His name was Eli Crane. He sat in seat 12. The driver had never been found. Rumors said he'd abandoned the route and fled the county. But others whispered the fire wasn't an accident. They said Eli had tried to warn people. That someone had been watching him. Callan remembered the boy's words. "Don't let him follow me." That Monday, Callan drove the same route. The stop at Maple and 3rd? Empty. He waited anyway. Nothing. Seat 12 stayed empty all morning. Until the last student left that day and he checked the mirror. Eli was sitting there. But not like before. He wasn't a boy anymore. Not fully. Half shadow. Eyes glowing faintly. Fingers stained black with soot. He looked at Callan, then past him. "He's on the bus now." The lights flickered. The engine choked. Callan turned and saw it in the reflection. The other figure. Hollow. Wearing a bus driver's cap. No face. Only a mouth full of fire. The next morning, the school bus never arrived. They found it a mile off the road, engine cold, doors wide open. No one inside. Only ashes on seat 12 and a burn ID badge hanging from the rearview mirror. Callan, Route 7 driver. Since then, every so often, someone walking past Maple and 3rd swears they see a bus stop. And a boy standing alone. When they blink, he's gone. But sometimes, just sometimes, They say the number on the bench isn't just a bus route. It's a warning. 12. The seat that never forgets who it lost or who's next.